overall, I mean, 2021 is going to bring us a lot of movies. Suicide Squad, Eternals, Shang-Chi, Matrix
I'm looking
4.
forward to that one. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Matrix 4. Yes, I'm so ready for that one.
I'm skeptical about Matrix 4.
How?
Why?
I don't want to hear this.
Right, like what? Listen, Jensen. Listen.
I'm kind of with Tiffany on this.
Yeah, like why? Why does there have
whose
to
side
be a
you on,
4?
Terrence? You the tiebreaker. Whose side you on?
Look, Terrence said how? You missed it. He said how?
This is my whole thing. I don't understand how they're making a Matrix 4 because Neo is dead.
He's dead, and he brought what's the word I'm looking for? He brought everybody together. He stopped the wars and
look.
I thought they walked off. I thought they walked off in the distance at the end of Revelation. No,
he didn't walk off in the distance. They put that man on the stretcher and took him, and took him to the the graveyard, whatever it is, but he was dead.
To be honest, it's just like, okay. Like it's one of those things. It's one of those things they did at the end of Revolutions where you probably logically would think he's dead, but like it was very ambiguous the way they did.
It's not ambiguous.
It's not ambiguous.
They say
the way they kind of did it. It was kind of ambiguous the way they did it.
We're about to have a nerd argument right here on this thing about the
they can go many places with
the exact words they said is he sacrificed his life. I don't see how you can sacrifice your life and be alive because
he literally got absorbed by Agent Smith, and his code broke down Agent Smith and saved the real world and the digital world. Like he's absorbed, he's gone, he's out. Like the code reconciled itself. There's nothing left.
Like Trinity said.
Oh, I see what you mean now. I wouldn't look.
Yeah, like so that's the part where I'm like, why? Like I don't
Trinity said, see, look, Trinity's exact words where he sacrificed his life for us. And I'm like, I get it.
I mean, a lot of people can say that somebody sacrificed their life and then for some reason or whatever, they're not like dead. I mean, okay, put it this way. We know technically that when someone supposedly gets killed in the Matrix, they die in real life. We know that. But that essentially just technically leaves them brain dead. They're not necessarily like physically dead a lot of the time. But now, granted, the movie breaks those rules quite a bit. It like doesn't really follow its own rules half the time. So
but enough about Terminator.
You're not gonna get on Terminator. You're not gonna get on Terminator. You're not gonna get on Terminator. It's a classic.
I mean, look. The last few are something to talk about, though.
Okay. The last one, I don't understand. The last one was trash.
I've been waiting to cut these people out ever since I saw Terminator 4, whatever, Dark Fate.
I like the one with what's his face where what was Terminator 4? The
Genesis.
Dark Fate.
Genesis was the fourth one.
No.
Which one is the one where he had to dive in the water to get to command?
Oh no, that's Salvation.
Okay, Salvation is the one I like. I like Salvation.
Now, look, I will play devil's advocate with the last two movies. Genesis wasn't necessarily a bad film. It wasn't great. It wasn't necessarily a bad film. Part of the problem with that movie is the fact that they spoiled everything in the trailer. So it's like that kind of made me not want to go see it in the theaters, which I didn't, but I wound up watching it at home and I was like, okay, this movie's kind of decent. Like they're basically crippling the timeline with this movie, but it's like, okay, fine. Now Dark Fate comes along and basically retcons everything after 2. So I'm like, okay.
Remind me, Dark. So which one was the one where John Connor ended up being the bad guy?
That was Genesis.
Genesis is the one that I don't like, right? Because he had too many cybernetic parts.
Right. Like I said, that movie wasn't like I didn't think that movie was necessarily bad. I just think like the way they handled it up to the release.
I didn't like it.
Like it's just like you guys spoiled the whole damn movie. Like just,
it was bad to me. I was like, okay, so all this time, I was like, I've been watching Terminator since I was like 9 years old. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and all of a sudden we get to Genesis and John Connor's the bad guy. Right. So you trying to tell me my whole life has been a lie?
No, here's the problem with Terminator, and what I'm about to say is going to make so much sense. Ready?
Wait, hold on, wait. Just let me get this out really quick. Just really quick.
Go ahead. I apologize.
Just so I can finish about Dark Fate. Now, of course, you know Dark Fate was supposed to retcon everything after Terminator 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, that movie kind of falls into the same pit that Genesis does, but more so because it's like, okay, cool. This movie is actually kind of cool, though. And y'all do some really cool stuff in it. And it's like, okay, but the choices you made in this film, you kind of made the first two movies useless. So it's like, that's my initial problem with Dark Fate, because like it literally kind of renders like everything that happened before it pretty much pointless. And it's
and that's the problem when they said that was like the true, when the director, because I believe James Cameron got involved again with Dark Fate, and that was the problem. That was my main problem, because it literally meant that anything that he wasn't involved in didn't count. That was my problem with Dark Fate, which goes along with what you're saying.
Yeah,
because it literally made the two movies before it, which was Salvation and Genesis.
But that kind of makes it worse, because the other movies was at least still continuing.
Yes,
that not they were, but like Dark Fate kind of just was like, well,
here's the thing about Dark Fate.
Made it worse because it basically made the first two movies irrelevant. Like,
here's the thing about Dark Fate, and I will get on the problem with the rest of the franchise, but here's the problem with Dark Fate. Dark Fate implies that time is cyclical, and that nothing we do will actually change the timeline. Like it's saying that that it doesn't matter, that Sarah Connor and John Connor didn't matter, because according to the timeline, a woman from the present will have a child with a father from the future, and that child who is literally older than his dad will go on to defeat a cybernetic threat in the future in a war of humans against machines. So Dark Fate is saying, yeah, all these names don't matter. Time will figure all this out by itself. So everything you're seeing is pointless, because it's just going to keep happening and happening again and again and again with new players. That's why Dark Fate is stupid. Mm-hmm. Now, Dark Fate, I'm going to take you, and we're just going to put you right here. You go sit in that.
That's why time travel movies were always a problem.
Anything else, the movie was actually, like, if you actually take out, put it this way, if you actually take out the Sarah and John Connor element of that movie, it's actually decent. It's not really a bad.
Yeah,
but because you have to include that, it's just like, why did y'all do that? Like, damn it.
You see what you did, Cassio? You see what's happened because we're talking about.
I hear you, and I mean that's cool. But I had, like I said, I've been trying to cuss these people out for a long time. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't appreciate what they did.
Sure. I still have one more point. So we're going to take Dark Fate now. We're going to take Dark Fate.
No, I'm not done with Dark Fate.
Dark Fate back on the table.
Okay, we're not done. Back on the table.
I ain't get a chance to say nothing about Dark Fate.
Go ahead.
You know, so this is my problem with Dark Fate. First of all, they try to copy part 2. They literally try to copy the exact same movie and then remake it. So that's all. It's already like, okay, you know, the creativity is already shot for the film.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are doing nothing new, nothing. So on top of that, then we get this, and I completely forgot the name of the new company or whatever. I mean, we had Cyberdyne. We knew who they were. Cyberdyne makes Terminators. You know, Skynet. Boom, boom. We know that. But then there's like,
established for over 30 years.
and then that company wasn't even in Dark Fate. It was a new company, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a new company, but they made. I forgot the name too. But they made Terminators. Like, they said that Skynet was abolished, so you know that threat is no longer, is no longer a threat. But there's a new company that does the exact same thing that Skynet does. So what's even just keep Just say it's Skynet. Like, what's the issue? I don't understand.
Rebrand. It's a new brand, man. They rebranded it.
It's a brand new company that makes the exact same products as Skynet. Let's not call it Skynet. What? And they did nothing but combine they combined the T-1000 with the T-800. That's literally all they did. They got a skeletal Terminator and they have a liquid metal Terminator. That's it. They just were like, hey, here's part 1 and part 2 at the same time. We're just going to make a movie where we're going to combine the 2 Terminators from the first 2 movies. But once again, this is not Skynet. This is somebody else. Okay. So once all that stuff happens and then we're introduced to characters that we don't care about, sorry, we cared about none of the characters that were introduced during this film. Let's be honest. We only wanted to see what's going on with Sarah Connor and the T-800. But even then, their interactions were corny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I found that too. I'm like, what? What is this?
I will go out on the limb and say that I can't remember old girl's name or whatever, but the girl that was a cyborg that they sent back from the future, whatever.
Another character that didn't need to be there. Sorry, go ahead.
Actually, I thought that she was cool though. Like I thought that for what they did with her, that she was kind of badass. So like the crazy thing is that like what they did with it's like the idea that they used in Terminator Salvation with I forget, but the actor's name, was it Sam Worthington? Was that his name?
Yeah,
I think that was his name.
The guy who was in jail, the guy they used to do the experiment.
Right. Yeah. It's like they used that concept and they did much more with it in Dark Fate. So it's like, okay, now I can see like, that whole thing. So I like what they did with her character for this movie, but just obviously with everything else, it just didn't work in hindsight because like a lot of it just didn't. They would have left the job out of it. Like if they, it's like if they would have out of it, it would have been fine. Like that's
that's the two things about Dark Fate. They gave us a character that could have potentially had a really, really good storyline. They didn't really give her that good of a storyline. You know what I mean? So that's just my thing with that one. It's like bring a character in that's cool, but give them a strong story as well. And her story just wasn't strong. You know what I mean? That's more so I know about her character. But the thing about John Connor, that's my biggest gripe about the entire thing. The entire thing is that last scene that they did where, and I hope everyone has seen Terminator. Dark Fate by now.
Now let's get it right. It was the first scene.
It was the first scene?
Yeah, it was the very first scene.
At the very beginning of the movie.
Okay. My bad. My bad. So it's like this, right? So they said they defeated Skynet. That like they said that in the monologue or whatever. She said we defeated Skynet and everything, and then a freaking Terminator just walks in and takes out John Connor. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, apparently the way she explained it is sent one back as a backup plan, like on the off chance they lost.
But if Skynet is destroyed,
then what happened? What am I looking at? Right.
Y'all done already sent back like 16 Terminators, G. Like,
you know what? And just going on that, they didn't learn anything. They didn't sent back like 800 Terminators through time. None of them succeeded. Like they didn't learn shit.
This is the crazy thing when it comes to that. The whole point of Skynet sending the Terminators back is because they lost. Like that's the reason why the Terminators got sent back in the first place, because they lost the war in the future. So it's kind of like at this point, it's like, okay, now you kind of just erased yourself, like only for like something else to happen under another name. Like it's I don't know.
Why couldn't Skynet just take the L and go home? Be like, you know what?
Like just damn.
Like, you know, which reminds me, this is my big thing about Terminator, and what I'm about to say is going to make so much sense. The main problem with Terminator is they changed the rules to how time travel works every single movie.
Yeah, they do.
In the first one, they imply that
Like, yeah, they basically implied that it was linear in the first movie.
Yeah. In the first movie, like it's linear. What happens in the past was always going to happen. There's no changing the future. Everything that happened before is always going to happen. In the second one, they're like, hey, you can change the past, but you can't change the future, but everything that happened in the past still happened. Like all the stuff we did in the past will still happen, but from here on out, from this moment, our new future is the new future. And then Terminator 3 is like, oh, by the way, and then Terminator 3 just comes in and looks at Terminator 1 and says, hey, so you're both wrong. All you're doing is just pushing future events back a little bit farther. Right. And then Terminator 4 is like, and then Terminator Salvation is like, it didn't deal with time travel, so that's fine.
But it didn't deal with it, yeah.
But then Genesis comes out and is like, look, we don't know how time travel works either. I think y'all might just broke time.
They really did, bro.
And then Dark Fate is like, you know what? This is how it works now. It doesn't matter. The specific players change, but the events are set in stone. Like, so we don't actually need Sarah Connor. All we need is just some kind of woman to get knocked up by some dude who came back in time from the future. That's all we need. And I'm just like, listen, exactly. And that is my problem with the Terminator movies. I'm like, if you're going to make a time travel movie, have consistent rules. Look at Back to the Future. Back to the Future has consistent rules on how time travel works.
They do. It does in comparison.
Yes.
Unlike with Project Almanac, they fail at that also.
I feel like never watching it. Yeah, I feel like I should bring up Inception. We're talking about time, I should bring up Inception just because so we can all be lost at what happened in that movie with time.
But Inception didn't deal. Well, I guess it did a little bit. It didn't really deal with time travel, but I guess it did a little bit.
No, it did. I just wanted to bring it up because I was lost. Hopefully, y'all were lost like I was.
All right.
So I wasn't lost on Inception. I wasn't lost on Inception. I understand.
Now I'm going to shut up for the next 10 minutes until it's my turn to do my whole.
Oh yeah, we gotta. Okay, so so Cassio, please go ahead and I'll give you another 5 minutes because we went from the Matrix. Okay, which again, I'm gonna say Jensen agreed with me at the end because there's still a why. Like, why are we making a part 4? Like,
I'm concerned because the project
sorry. So read it, Cassio. What does it say?
No, it just said the plot is not confirmed. That's all. The plot is
of
not
course
confirmed.
It's not. Because why? They're wondering why too. They're trying to figure out why they're making it too. That's why
they're already filming it. Like, we don't know what the movie is going to be about right now. Like, they still ain't done filming it yet.
Because it's like Trinity's dead, right? I'm just gonna say
her physically die.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Trinity dies in the movie. She dies getting Neo to the machine city. She dies she got impaled. You know what I'm saying? Neo is brain dead, physically dead, electronically dead, computer, whatever. Okay, he is not in his physical body. Okay, brain dead, however you want to call it.
He got formatted, is what happened.
He got formatted. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's like a lot of his crew, you know what I'm saying, died on different things because you had the turncoat and shot everybody in the one movie. And I mean, yeah, you got the human city, that's still alive, but it's like y'all supposed to be at peace. So what? The Matrix gets rewrote again. Neo's essence gets downloaded into. I don't think I'm going to accept whatever it is that they do. I don't think I'm going to accept.
The main reason why I'm concerned is because the last few movies the Wachowskis worked on, they didn't really turn out the way they thought. Like, I think, honestly, the last thing that they did that I actually kind of like, but a lot of other people hated, was a Speed Racer movie. I actually liked that movie.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
But other than that, they had stuff like Jupiter Ascending. And,
okay, I like that movie. Why didn't nobody like that movie?
A lot of folks did not like that movie.
Oh, it was good. It was. I mean, it's kind of like what I would watch on Sci-Fi. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I watched Santa Jaws.
See,
that's right. Santa Jaws. Jaws had a Santa hat. It was killing people. That's what he
One would kind of argue that you were easily amused, but I would not be so bold.
So Venom 2, I didn't mention just Venom 2.
Venom.
Another movie coming next year, Venom 2. They're supposed to be introducing Carnage. I don't know. I want to see Carnage.
I'm not looking forward to that movie.
Nah.
I didn't like the first one.
I'm
not looking forward to this
I'm
one,
gonna go see it.
I don't think there's too many comic movies you're not gonna see. Honestly,
Yeah, I'm at least.
I'm gonna watch it.
I didn't watch the Phoenix. I did not watch Dark Phoenix.
You're better for it, sir. You're better.
It's incredibly boring. There's only one good scene in it, and I won't spoil it for you. But there's only one good scene in it, and then once you see that scene,
I'm not gonna watch it.
Oh, okay, good. The only good scene in it is
just watch the train scene in the third act. That's all you need to see.
Exactly. The Nightwing knife rampage on the train. That's the only good scene. Once you see Nightwing. Once you see Nightcrawler. Once you see Nightcrawler do the knife rampage on the train, you go, well, there. I've seen everything I wanted out of this movie. Let's see what else is on.
That's pretty much.
That's all I need to know.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's a movie that's coming.
But okay, so is this Ghostbusters? Is this Ghostbusters with the originals? It's not with the women. I know that.
No, this is a continuation of the originals.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is actually a sequel.
But how are they gonna do that? Because the man who played Dr. Venkman died. So how?
Yeah, I think like most
not Dr. Venkman, Egon. I'm sorry, Egon. Yeah, the man who played Egon.
Egon's grandkids are the focus in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you haven't seen the trailer at all?
Yeah. Granted, like it's been a while since we've seen that trailer, dude. Like that was a minute.
I haven't seen the trailer. I have to admit that might be why.
It was cool. It was a really cool trailer, but it was a teaser. So like we never really got an official trailer after that because everything got pushed back to 2021.
That kid for the tall kid from Stranger Things, he's in it. He was in it also.
Explosion.
Yeah, I never remember that kid's name.
Wait,
there's a live action Saint Seiya that's supposed to be coming out in Japan soon.
Oh, that sounds cool.
I mean, it might actually be good. Look. I'm not going to lie. Like people, you ever notice people always say American live action anime movies are terrible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. As someone who watches tokusatsu for a living, they have no idea what they're talking about. They think Japan makes these live action anime movies better.
Look, I will go out on a limb to say that I can't really say for sure because I haven't seen all of them, but the Rurouni Kenshin live action one was decent.
They were tight.
Decent.
Yeah, okay. Those are the exceptions, not the rule. Because hold on. There's the Devilman movies. There's it's the 2004 live action Devilman movie. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and never watch it. Yeah. There's the Cashern. There's the Cashern movie.
Yeah, that one I did not like. I will say the Cashern I did not like.
There's the Attack on Titans movie, which bombed.
That one.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah, there is I'd be here all day, but trust me, for those of you watching who think Japan does better when it comes to live action anime, they do not. So maybe this live action Saint Seiya would be one of the exceptions, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
I mean, but to be fair, like our Fist of the North Star and Crime and Freeman were kind of ass. Like I'm just saying, like our Fist of the North Star was pretty bad.
Our Fist of the North Star was bad, but for Crying Freeman, let's be honest here, Crying Freeman is just a over glorification of toxic masculinity. There's no way to do that movie right. It can't be done. Look, the only way to do Crying Freeman right is if you sit down and rewrite the entire franchise.
Yeah, you're right about that one. Okay, all right. There isn't too many American
anime. It's like
because between
actually, can I go next? Because this leads perfectly into my thing.
You know what? Yeah, because I need to let Cassio finish, but he stepped away. So when he comes back, I'll let him get like another 5-10 minutes. But go ahead, Toku Terry. Go ahead and do your.
So speaking of, as you guys know, I am the universe's biggest Saint Seiya fan, and I have good news for other people who are in America, and they also love Saint Seiya. Hey, us Americans, they got. Not only are they importing more Saint Seiya games to America, not only does Netflix have the entire original series out, but we have confirmation that Netflix next year will be releasing the Hades arc in an English dub alongside Knights of the Zodiac Season 2. Which, I know nobody likes Knights of the Zodiac Season 1, but that's the thing. The first couple of seasons of Saint Seiya aren't good. Saint Seiya doesn't get well, I think they're good, but most people don't think Saint Seiya is really good until the Sanctuary arc, which is going to be Season 2 of Knights of the Zodiac. And that is the season everyone loves, because it's just this big epic thing where Seiya punches a dude so hard it causes a big bang. And I'm sorry, but if you get hit in the face by a guy with the force of the Big Bang and you survive it, you should just quit. Like, I don't care how powerful you are. You should just be like, you should just be on the ground. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay here, and I'm just gonna. You won.
Man, it's like, bruh, did you just create a Big Bang from this just now? Like, did you just create a whole universe potentially?
Like, I do not understand. Like, Saga, like
from your face, by the way, from your face. Like,
right.
you create a Big Bang, so you were instrumental in that too. You know.
Right.
Like the best part of the Sanctuary saga is where the Sanctuary arc is where Saga, the big bad of the Sanctuary arc, Gemini Saga is like, haha, my ultimate attack, the Galaxian explosion, has the power to destroy numerous galaxies. And Seiya's like, So what you're saying is, all I have to do is burn my cosmos strong enough to do what I did when I fought your friend and cause another Big Bang. And Saga's like, well, yeah, but I don't think you could do Pegasus Comet Fist. Wait, let me finish. Oh, I lost. No. The disrespect, like, for those of you who don't watch Saint Seiya, Seiya's a nice person, but the fact that he is just the most disrespectful person in a fight is unquestioned. Because at one point, Saga took all 6 of his senses, like the 5 main senses, and the 6th sense, the ability to think. And Seiya's like, oh, by the way, you know that power you have, 7th sense, that can replace all those other senses? Yeah, I have that now. Saga's like, aren't you a Bronze Saint? Seiya's like, aren't you a Bronze Saint?
Like, repeat that, sir? Like,
or have the fact that in Saint Seiya episode G Assassins, Zeus, the actual deity Zeus, gets into a fight with Seiya and he blows up the underworld, the metaphysical place where souls go. And Seiya just shrugs it off and goes, so are we still fighting? And Zeus is like, what even are you? Right now, in the current manga episode G Requiem, this evil dude named Pontos, who is the Greek primordial god. Okay, for those of you who haven't read my book, there are 3 sets of gods in Greek mythology.
I got it. Sorry, I had to put that in there.
I got it too.
Oh, that's right. Jensen got it too. I forgot.
Yep.
So, yes, thank you too. I love you both. So, for those of you who haven't read my book, in Greek mythology, there are 3 sets of gods. There's the primordial gods, who are like Gaia, Uranus, Pontos, blah, 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 blah. And then they got overthrown by the Titans, which is where the word Titan comes from, because it means to reach above your station. So then the Titans, which is Cronus, really long name that I can't pronounce, Rhea, all those gods, then they got overthrown by, I want to say this specifically, while the Olympians are part of the younger generation of gods, not all of the third generation of gods are Olympians. Specifically, Hades is not an Olympian.
He's not?
No, he's specifically not Olympian. For one, his sacrifices are completely different. They would sacrifice to Olympians on altars, but Hades would have his sacrifices in a sacrificial pit called Baranos. For two, he had no house on Olympus. You cannot be an Olympian.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
If you were on Olympus.
Like, he's not Olympian because how he's worshipped, essentially, or like
how he's worshipped and where he lives.
Mm-hmm.
Which is odd because, it's not like Hades chose that job. You know what I'm saying? Like
he literally just lost the
right. It's like they were drawing straws and he just happened to pull the shortest one. So it's like he's like not an Olympian, but he should be.
Well, you take care of the dead people. See ya.
You know what? But in my opinion, even though he takes care of the dead people, I think he got the best. I think he got the best result out of that because let's be honest here. Not being an Olympian means he doesn't have to deal with Zeus and Poseidon's foolishness. Yep. Like he don't.
And he don't
have to worry about what's happening with the world. He'd be like, "Oh, the world's in it. Oh, okay. Well,
No. He'd be like this. He'd be like, They'd be like, hey, Hades, what are you doing? My job. Can't you take a break? Yeah. Remember that time I took a break and there was a zombie apocalypse? No.
Right.
That's because I do my job.
As long as Kratos don't show up.
Oh my lord!
But yeah, right now, getting back on track. Right now, Seiya's fighting Pontos, the ancient Greek god of the primordial ocean, and Pontos tried to. No, hold on. I gotta break down exactly how crazy this is. Pontos hasn't just killed every other saint in the world. He's erased the concept of heroes and the concept of their guardian constellations, like their actual stars. So he's erased these stories that gave them their powers. And Seiya's still there. And Pontos is just like, oh my god.
That's crazy.
Look, Seiya is human, and yet these gods can't kill him. Can't kill him. And they're all starting to get scared about the fact that they can't kill or erase him. Like the closest a god's ever come to killing Seiya is when Hades stabbed Seiya with his sword. Which again, this isn't in mythology, this is only in Saint Seiya. But in Saint Seiya, Hades stabs Seiya with his sword. This super special, super magical sword that kills you. That it remain. The wounds in it remain, even if the sword itself is removed. And once you're killed by it, it erases you, body and soul, from history and throws your soul into the world of void, where everything erased from reality goes. And and now I've told you all that. So this actually worked to erase an alternate Seiya in an alternate timeline who is completely destroyed, and that's why that timeline sucks, because they killed the hero. But you know what happened when that worked when he did that to our Seiya? It took about 5 years, but Seiya got better. He didn't just get better, like they keep going like, "Oh, Seiya, you're still affected by Hades' curse. You're so weak and you're weak and dying, and you're in no shape to fight." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in no shape to fight, and yet I keep winning." like this dude named Fenrir is like, "Oh, look at you. You're just a weak, dying saint." And Seiya's like, "Yeah, I'm all those things, and yet I'm still winning this fight." So, what does that say about you? The sheer disrespect.
Seiya broken.
It is ridiculous. Like, no. The most broken thing about Saint Seiya is this thing that all saints have. I call it never. It doesn't have an official name, but I call it never twice because I just shortened the phrase. Here's why I call it never twice. The exact phrase is the same attack never works on a saint twice. Meaning, if you hit a saint with an attack, or if you're fighting their friend and they simply happen to be in the area and they can see you fighting their friend and they see the attack, guess what? That attack won't work on them anymore.
Never twice.
Exactly. Never twice. And Seiya's just the master of this, because not only did Seiya just not drop. No, the two biggest saints who benefit from that are Seiya, because he's the main character, and he just refuses to die even if you kill him. and Phoenix Iki, whose literal superpower is you killed me, I come back from the dead stronger. That's Iki's whole power. That's why he's called Phoenix Iki. Which, no, okay. If I can make this joke,
favorite mythological creature.
Yeah, and my thing is about Phoenix Iki is people keep trying to use fire attacks on a guy who calls himself Phoenix Iki.
Wow, you say Phoenix Iki? I've been saying Phoenix Ikai.
No, it's pronounced Iki. It's a
wow.
Japanese. It's a Japanese word. It means like gleam. But yeah, wow. Phoenix Iki.
Well, that just ruins my whole day.
Yeah. There's one dude, like it's in the anime, not the manga, but it's one dude named called the Fire Saint unleashes this huge attack called Fire Screw, and then Iki's like, you realize my name is Phoenix Iki, right? Like, this is what I do. Fire is like my whole deal. And then later on, this villain, this Corona Saint, was like, ha, my attack is as hot as the sun. Feel the flames of perdition. And Iki's like, and then he's like, wait, how did you survive? And Iki's like, Phoenix Iki.
He was like, do you even know what a phoenix is, my guy? Like, a mythological bird of fire, of death and rebirth.
No. And then here's this is the other one that I always can't stand, is when people are surprised that when Iki comes back from the dead. Because like in the Sanctuary arc, no one's boy. I'm sorry, I was going to say my boy, but he's not my boy. He's no one's boy. Him and Cancer Deathmask are no one's friends. But Gemini Saga blows Iki to stardust with a galactic explosion, and then a week later, Iki's little brother Shun is getting into a fight. And he's calling out for Iki, and then the bad guy's like, dude, your brother's dead. He was blown to stardust. He's not Does anyone else smell fire? and then he just turns around, and Iki's just right there. They're like, sup? And the guy's like, wait, you're dead. They blew you to stardust. And Iki's like, okay, do you not understand the concept of Phoenix?
That's hilarious. Like,
it is.
I don't know, like, to me, like, it's one of those things that happens in anime where, like, it just kind of trips me out to where it's just like, dude, like, you literally fighting somebody with the same whole element and then get your ass dusted.
Right.
Like, I don't know. That's just always funny to me. Like,
it is like
when they literally get the element wrong, and it was like, dude, you really don't know who I am.
Yeah,
always the funniest shit ever.
No. You know the funniest thing ever? I think I told y'all this before, but this is hilarious. My favorite thing in Saint Seiya. My boy Dragon Shiryu got into a fight with, as I said before, no one's boy Cancer Deathmask. No one liked Cancer Deathmask. I'm pretty sure his parents don't like him. I'm pretty sure they gave him up to Sanctuary because they're like, hey, here, this is our kid Mephisto. You named your kid Mephisto? We're just gonna rename him Deathmask. Hey, that's fine, whatever. He's your problem now. But Deathmask like, oh, blah blah blah. I'm a gold saint. There's no way you can beat me. And then he's winning at first because he's a gold saint, so of course he's winning at first. Then he's like, hey, do you hear someone praying for your soul? And Shiri's like, yeah, that's my girlfriend Shinrei. She's over in China while we're sitting here in the underworld, and she's praying for my safety. You know, she cares about me. She loves me. And Deathmask's like, I hear you. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my telekinesis to throw her off a cliff. And Shiri's like, you better not. And Deathmask's like, I'm going to do it. And Shiri's like, you bet not. Deathmask, I swear to God. And Deathmask's like, what? Too late. I already did it. And then Shiryu proceeds to beat. Remember, Deathmask had spent the entire fight owning him. Shiryu gets so pissed off that he unlocks his seventh sense, cures his own blindness from pure rage, and proceeds to beat Deathmask to death. It's hilarious because he's just sitting there beating the crap out of him and goes, do you know why they call me Dragon Shiryu? Because all your attacks have dragons named after them? No, it's pretty simple. In mythological time, They say a dragon has one special scale, one treasure that if you touch, it turns him into a beast of unlimited rage. Shunrai's my scale. She's my treasure. I've never hated anyone before, Death Mask. But trust me, I hate you. And now I'm going to work through some of that aggression. And then proceeds to beat him to death. And then in one of the movies, this evil god brings Death Mask back to life. And Death Mask immediately goes to Shiryu for a rematch. Shiryu's like, oh, hey, Death Mask is back. And say, I'll be right back. Say, like, dude, did you already beat this guy to death right once? Yeah. Yeah, what's your point? I still have some aggression with him. You killed him already. Seiya, I hear you, but you threw my girlfriend off a cliff. She survived. Seiya, her surviving or not does not change the fact that he threw my girlfriend off a cliff. On sight. Till death. And beyond. Forever.
It's like, no. It's like, just don't die, fam.
It's like, oh, it's like, oh, you think this beef is over just because you died? No. Like people always hype up Vegeta's "That's My Bulma" scene. I'm like, guys, I hear you. But Vegeta lost that fight. Shiryu won.
I mean, he kind of knew there was I'm fairly certain Vegeta knew that was a losing battle no matter what. It's just that was just like his, oh shit, like I'm just happen to be stronger than Goku now because he had that moment. But I mean, he knew that was a losing battle.
He knew, but like I said, like how Shiryu got so mad it cured his blindness. I thought anger was supposed to blind you. For sure, you just made him see better.
I mean, you'd be surprised, like some of the shit that like just certain characters do. I mean, it's like, look, if character like Darth Maul, even though he was saved by the fan outcry, more or less, but his hate kept him from dying. He got sliced in half. It's like,
listen, there's a difference between staving off death and literally curing retinal damage from the power of being so pissed off. Also,
I don't know. Maybe it was caused by the other dude's Cosmo or something, and it just overrode it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, for those of you who don't watch Saint Seiya, the other reason why Shiryu is the best character, even more than Seiya, is because one of his attacks is just throwing 100 dragons at you, which is, experts say, about 90 more dragons than you'll ever need to throw at somebody.
Yeah, you usually just need one. Like any more than that to me is overkill. That's like,
right.
I don't know. That's like summoning like Knights of the Round and shit.
Yeah, like one of the biggest bad guys of the thing, one of the judges of hell, got into a fight with Shiryu, and Shiryu's like, Yaki Ryuha! And then the judge was like, is that 100 dragons? Like, you can imagine. Okay. I only got 2 minutes left, so can you just imagine how disrespectful that is? You just being in a fight and the guy just like I said, most of Shiryu's attacks are throwing one dragon at you. There's the rolls down Ryuha, which is an uppercut where he punches you in the face and it makes a dragon come out. Before any of you Dragon Ball Z fans say that's a ripoff of the Dragon Fist, no, it can't. Shiryu had it first. The Dragon Fist is a ripoff of this. But then again, isn't Goku known for stealing techniques anyway? So.
I mean, he kind of learned it by sight, so I wouldn't call it stealing. He learns by sight.
But that's it. So
Learns by sight.
So his attack is the Ryuha, which is uppercut that summons a dragon to punch you in the face. The Dragon's Flight, which is the same thing except for horizontally. So instead of getting uppercutted, you get a strict jab to the face that summons a dragon to punch to beat you up. The Excalibur technique, where he focuses his Cosmo into his arm and it creates a blade, and the blade slices you up. And if you think you can block this blade, you're wrong because you can't. That's how Excalibur works. You just don't block it. And then he was like, all these attacks are really good, but you know what I really need? To summon about 99 more dragons and just throw them at the guy. Just looks like, here, take 100 dragons. Like, his master who taught him that attack said, nothing can withstand the force of 100 dragons' fangs. And I'm like, yeah, because it's 100 dang dragons.
Man, right. I ain't fighting. I'm not fighting 100 dragons. I've seen Rain of Fire already. Like, I'm straight.
You don't want to be the G like Matthew McConaughey's character?
No.
Trying to say I'd
rather be alive.
To the face.
I'd rather be alive.
Okay, I choose life.
Like, right, I choose life.
100.
I know, but you got to think like a life with dragons. Your number is very limited at that point, especially if they start starving.
I mean, I stay in the
okay.
Stay my ass on the ground.
listen, there are the four things I've learned from Saint Seiya is: one, don't fight Seiya, period, because it doesn't matter if you it doesn't matter if you think you're winning, because every time you hurt him, he gets stronger. Every time you knock him down, he gets stronger, and eventually you're just gonna be like, you know what, you win, fine, it's whatever. Just don't fight Seiya. Those are the rules. 2, don't fight Iki. Just don't. 3, all the villains need to really start paying attention to the names of these attacks, because like they tell you exactly what they're about to hit you with the names of these attacks. Like, there's no exaggeration here. They are very specific. Like, there's an attack called Galaxian Explosion, where the guy takes the force of exploding galaxies and throws it at you. Don't fight that guy. There's an attack called Stardust Revolution, where the guy summons Stardust from all over the universe, turns it into meteors, and throws it at you. Don't fight that guy. That same guy has an attack called Starlight Extinction, where he shoots you with photons powerful enough to destroy all these stars in the sky. Again, do not fight that guy. There's a guy who has an attack called Freezing Coffin, where he freezes you at absolute 0 and seals you in a coffin of ice. Say it with me, y'all. Don't fight that guy.
Who made these people? Like, who made these people? Like, just for real. I just need to know this. Like,
I cannot pronounce his name's Kurom. I know his last name's Kuromada, but I forget his first name. He's this Japanese mangaka. It is wild. But I just feel so bad for whoever fights some of the Gold Saints. Like I said, if you fight a Gemini Saint and they go Galaxian Explosion, your last words are going to be, "Did he just throw a galaxy at me?" Boom. Okay, and the fourth rule is much like Greek mythology, all the Greek gods are douchebags except Athena, apparently. Like, I'm mad because in Saint Seiya, Hades is evil, and I'm like, no, Hades is cool. All he wants to do is do his job and love his wife and kids. Why?
No, because Underworld, he's got to be the douche. Because Underworld.
Like, y'all can't go bully Zeus. Zeus blinded Hades' son, just the god of wealth, because he was like, hey, you know what? Wealth should be completely blind and random. And then he just blasted Plutus in the face with lightning. And then he's like, dude, you could have given him a blindfold or something? It's just like,
No, you got to be thorough. You got to be thorough with the blindness. A blindfold, he could peek. That's just the purpose. He could peek.
You get Justice a blindfold? You got to shoot my son in the face with lightning? Yeah. Yeah. But here's the difference. Justice is my kid. Wealth is yours.
Right.
This is why I stay in the underworld. This right here is why I don't talk to you, Zeus.
All right. That was Toku's. That was Toku's 20. We're going to call that Toku's 20.
Yeah, that was just me being weird for 20 minutes.
Listen, we ain't even finished Cassio's, you know what I'm saying? Cassio had, we ain't even get to finish his subject. We have to circle back around that one.
No. We did good. You got me.
Good? Okay.
Yeah, you got me. I just wanted to.
We got so busy debating Terminator and the Matrix, the principles.
You're right. I'm sorry, I had some more words for Terminator, but I'm good. I'm good.
We all feel some way about that franchise because we all grew up with it. So
exactly.
I got so much more to say about it too, man.
We all have very strong feel. We all have,
which is why Genesis like pissed me off a little bit. So
we all have very.
I know you want to know which one pissed me off. Salvation pissed me off. Salvation pissed me off.
Salvation.
Hold fast. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. So we got Terminator 1, right? Terminator 2. The entire time we watching these two fantastic films, especially part 2, we get told about the war of Skynet, the Judgment Day, the war basically between the humans and Cyberdyne or Skynet, whatever. So, all right, that's what we're looking forward to. So, why would you make a movie that happens during the aftermath of the war and not show me the damn war? That is my question.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta give it to him. That's a good point. Like
that is a good point. I didn't think about that.
Like the entire, like all of Salvation isn't even the start of the war. It's like as the war's ending.
Exactly. Why did we miss that? Why did you jump to after? Like I'm sitting here. I'm like, I remember watching Terminator 2. It's the first R-rated movie I've ever seen in my whole damn life. And it's like when I saw that freaking like the Terminator like walking on the skulls of people and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that is some shit. And
man, that movie had all these spooky kids, bro. Like,
cool, man. It was so cool, man. Like, God knows it was such a cool movie. So I'm like, I want to see this war. I'm ready to see the war. I'm like, man,
that's true. We never really see it. That's true.
Well, I don't. What is the thing? I don't think Salvation.
We are getting off on a tangent.
Right. I be talking about movies, man. Look, I can talk all day about movies.
But you have a point that I didn't think about. We did kind of see after because John is, basically grown, okay, and he's a soldier. And you're right. Grown. We didn't really see the war itself. You're right about that.
It's not just like he's grown and a soldier. It's he's grown. He's a soldier, and they say in the movie that they have Skynet on the ropes. I'm like, wait, so how did we get them on the ropes? How did John?
Right.
What makes John Connor? What makes John Connor
not? Yes, like why would you not show us that?
Show that, yeah. Because we have been waiting for that for like decades. I was trying to see how the fuck we get Skynet. Okay,
that was my whole thing. And they pull that mess on Dark Fate, and I'm like, all right.
He died anyway.